Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I'm back for Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Today we're getting into episode 14 of season 1, and last time we had a new member join the party, at least a temporary one. He's a priest and a really good healer, even enough to put to shame his incredibly skilled brother, who was so good that Hyder went to visit him and invite him to the Holy Capital. But we've got Zine now, and we've got a good healer who's apparently really good with poison. Hopefully not just the ones around him, and that'll be something we can carry on into the future. I don't know how long he'll last in our party, though. Hopefully he won't, die. It's not what I meant. Hopefully we'll find some way to... I don't know. I guess there's not really a specific place he's trying to go, so he'll just be in our team for the foreseeable future, which is exciting. Unless I accidentally called it and he actually is going to die, which I really hope not. I really like him. And I really like what he had to present to the story thematically. Last episode circled heavily around regret and around basically coulda, shoulda, wouldas. The feeling that I wish I'd done more. I wish this had happened. I should have done this. And there was a interesting discussion that happened in the comments that I probably didn't give as much credence as I should have to the fact that regret is very useful. It serves a very important purpose of trying to guide us into the future, of showing things that we are less than proud of and things that we want to do differently in the future. Like if you spend all day lying around doom scrolling, next time you're almost in that situation, the regret you had from the last time might get you to not do that this time. And that's true. What I'm presenting though is I think we can have both, or rather, I think we can have the best of regret without the accompanying baggage of it. I think we can learn from our past mistakes and things that we think we could have done better, and say, "I'm going to try to do this better in the future," without explicitly regretting what we did. We can say it wasn't the best option, but regret inherently carries with it a feeling that I wish things were different. If I could go back in time, I would do something different. And maybe you would, but I don't think that's fair to the you that made that decision. I think you made the best decision you could. So regretting it is kind of a slide against your past self. And that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I think we can learn our mistakes without the accompanying regret, basically. And that's pretty much what I was trying to say. But inherently it is useful. I don't hate it, period. I don't wish it were gone. I just think that there is a better alternative that we can try to achieve in our lives. Now, one last thing before I get started. If you do enjoy the video, please do like and comment. It really does. That engagement really helps me out with the algorithm. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoy my content, I make more of it. It's my content. So subscribing lets you get notified. If you want the full unaltered version of my reactions, I don't cut them down, but they do have a visual filter. The unfiltered version is going to be on Patreon. Again, link in the description. But with all that YouTuber housekeeping out of the way, let's hop into Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 14. And let's see what we've got today. Our first day with Zine.
買い出しのしがいがあるな。ここは賑やかな街ですね。酒場も多いし。
And Zine's gonna say it in 3,
後で一緒に買い物に行こう。ここはいい店もたくさんありそうだ。
Oh, sounds lovely. Better stop by some grimoire shops.
何してんだフリーレン。行こうぜ。
Just reminiscing is all on the time that's passed. Unless that was foreshadowing that a certain hour is approaching, but I've got a feeling it's just about the passage of time, which is just the show in a nutshell, right? Coming into the final several episodes with this opening. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm really gonna miss it. I didn't think it would grow on me as much as it did, especially with how much I love Haru in the next opening. I haven't seen it visually yet though, so it's gonna be a pure raw reaction to the visuals of it. Even though I love the song, I listen to it all the time. But God, the anticipation just building. I'm so close to it. I've been holding out and watching the visuals for so long. I don't think I've heard or seen the ED though, so that'll be completely fresh. But it's gonna be so bittersweet saying goodbye to this one. So iconic. And of course, Yuasabi is just incredible. Let's get into it. Privileged of the young.
そこまで言わなくたっていいだろう、いつも気使うたりやがって。そんなに俺のことが嫌いかよ。もういい、師匠のところに帰る。
What in the world is it this time?
なんだよ、いつもちょっとぐらい聞いてくれてもいいだろう。
How long was that out for?
血は喧嘩か
Oh.
今日フェルンの誕生日なんだけど、
Oh.
シュタルクがプレゼント用意してい
Her
なくて
birthday
ね、
now.
それでフェルンが切れちゃったの。
After all I've done for him.
正直今日は言い過ぎだと思うよ。
Oh.
シュタルクの話全然聞いてあげないしさ。
The pout.
んな
So
もん俺だって
bubbly.
用意してねえよ。男っていうのは
Well, yeah, you
誕
just
生日とか
joined.
記念日とかそういう細かいことは気にしない生き物な。
It's half true.
わかった。買ってくるからローキックやめて。こういうのは後で膝に来るから。
I think you've got more of a pass than Stark does. But also, Fern didn't know until Frieren told him. Until Frieren told
俺
her,
ぐらいの
so.
年になると冷たくされてもある程度流せるが、あの年の男子は女の子の言動に気中するからな。
It's kind of the same thing as the her fear against fighting first monster, right? She's subconsciously placing her experiences onto him, not realizing that he's in a very similar position to her.
言った方がいいんじゃない？
Yeah. Maybe she'll get a chance here to reflect on it, though. Admit that she didn't know either. She is pretty quick to becoming aware of her own flaws, so maybe this is the chance for that. Oh, he's actually going out to get her something. That's adorable.
可愛いポーチですね。
嫌いか。
いいえ、ただ女慣れしていそうで不快です。
How accustomed you seem.
シュタルクは見つかったのか。
Interesting.
広場にいたのですが。
話しかけられなかったか。
Yeah, easier said than done, especially at that age.
嫌いなわけじゃないんだろ。同年代の男子との接し方がわからないだけだ。
Yeah, I mean, what experience does she have?
まあ、
Even people with experience have trouble with that, right? Someone like her who's like never talked to them?
いいえ、結構です。
じゃあ勝手に選ぶな。しかしプレゼントを忘れたとしても怒りすぎだと思うぞ。あいつ絶対そんなマメなタイプじゃないだろう。多分自分の誕生日も覚えていないぜ。責めるのはかわいそうだ。
私はシュタルク様の誕生日にプレゼントをあげま
Yeah,
した。
after you were told.
その時は一緒に選んだのか。
なんでそれを？
好きなの選んでいいって言われて断るやつなんか普通いないぜ。きっとそれが大切な思い出だと思っているからだ。だから断った。
わかりません。ただなんとなく
Interesting.
そうしたくなったんです。
そうか。ならさっさとシュタルクに謝って一緒にプレゼント選んでこい。
So he can have the experience
あいつは
too.
ガキなんだ。
Because that's the real gift,
私
right?
は良くないぞ。仲直りしたいんだろ。思いってのは言葉にしないと伝わらないんだぜ。
Mm-hmm.
そうですね。
Yeah.
宿に戻るわ。
It's all about communication.
蹴ってすみませんでした。
Hmm. See, she is conscientious. She just needs to. She's just sometimes unaware of her own like biases and her own subconscious expectations.
フェルン
And he's gonna apologize too, right? For overreacting.
あの
Because he's conscious like that too. Yeah. Yeah, that's our boy.
本当は一緒に選びに行きたかったんだ
Aww.
フェルンが好きなものが分からなかったからでも
Aww.
こんなこと言ったらまた嫌がられるかもと思って言い出せなか
So
ったん
did
だ
he actually know? Or is he talking about like for the rest of the day?
シュタルク様すみませんでした
Hmm.
私の方こそ言い過ぎました
いいって
Good.
慣れてるから
Look at these
本当にすみ
children.
ませんでした
So mature.
行こうぜ
Yeah. Aww. Ah, the youths. So precious.
盗みにかよいい趣味だな、フリーレン。
She's just observing. What are you doing up here?
無事に仲直りできたみたいだな。
Of course they did.
大人になって、
Thanks to a big help
一つ
from
の
you.
距離感が分かるようになると、衝突することすら避けるようになる。
Hmm.
ああいうのは若者の特権だな。
Those arguments are the privilege of the young. Huh.
ガキの世話は大変そうだ。
Hmm.
人との距離感って何
ガキ3人だったか。
She's a different
フェラン
case.
俺に相談しに来たぞ。あんたにじゃなくて。一体俺を誰と比べて誰と重ねているんだろうな。
Hmm.
フェルンはハイターに育てられたからね
Pretty much the only one she has. Oh, that's cute. Little like waddle
たまったもんじゃ
slide.
ないぜ。
全然偉大じゃないよ
He
酒飲みでよく
was so much like you in ways you'll never
アン
know.
デッドかな
好き嫌い多いしやめよ
Oh.
よく嘘もついた
お酒飲んでないよ。
ただの生臭坊主だって
I wonder if they have breathalyzers in
それ
this
を上回
world.
る破壊層だけど
Even more, really. Well, I guess Hyder didn't smoke, so I guess there's that.
俺の記憶にあるハイター様は優しくて頼りがいのあるじいさんだった。
The Hyder you
俺とは
saw.
違って理想的な大人だったよ。
Ooh.
ハイターって変わったよね大
A
人
lot
っ
of
ぽ
them
く
seen
なっ
that
た
way, though. That's gonna be a great thing to talk about.
年を取ると自然とこうなるんですよ。
うーん
と言いたいところですが、本当は私の心は子供の頃からほとんど変わっていません。理想の大人を目指して、
Fake it till you make it. That's
それを積み重ねてきただけ
the
です。
truth of all adults, isn't it?
きっと私は死ぬまで
None of us really grow up. We all
大人の
just
ふりを続けるでしょう。
try our best to be
子供には
adults.
心の
The
支え
adults that
に
we've seen.
大人の存在が必要ですから。特
Mhm.
にフェルンは努力家です。たくさん褒め
Yeah.
て導いて
Lots
あ
of
げる。
praise. Oh,
それ
that's
じゃ
so
あ死ぬまで大
sweet.
人のふりを続けたハイターは誰が褒めてくれるの
Mm.
そのために
The
女神
goddess,
様
yeah.
がいるんですよ。天国に行くまではお預け
So
で
it's
す。
better for you to do it yourself, of
じゃあこっ
course.
ちでは私が褒めるよ
Yeah, return the favor
そうですか。でも、
from all those years
あなたの
ago.
人間である私の気持ちはわからないでしょう。どう褒めるつもりですか？
Headbats. Yeah. Oh. Oh, and this super gentle
思いの
voice.
ほか
The
悪くは
music.
ないですね。
Yeah, because men don't get things like
私が
that.
天国に行ったら、女神様に話を通しておき
So
ます。
she can praise you.
あなたはやはり女神様に褒めてもらうべきです。
そう
Oh my
楽しみにしておくよ
god. Why is this episode so. Oh, and she's giving him headbats too. It's so
何の真似だ、フリー
cute.
レン。
ザインはちゃんと大人やれていると思うよ
Yeah, in his own way. The little ashes falling off of the
これがお
cigar
姉さんからだったら
cigarette.
最高だったんだけどな。
ならよかった。私ほどのお姉さんはなかなかいないよ。
Oh, what a great vignette. That was so wonderful.
ここら辺は乗り合い馬車もなかったから助かったよ。
こういうのは助け合いですから。実は私
Absolutely.
この先の村の商人でして、代々装飾品店を営んでおります。
Can you scratch my
ご
back?
興味ありますか？
Dot dot dot.
商売上手だ
Yeah.
ね。私はあまり興味はないけど、フェルンはそういうの好きだったよね。あれ、ブレスレット新しく買ったの？
Oh, is that what they got?
えっ
Oh, and she's bashful.
と、可愛い衣装だね。私同じデザインの指輪持ってるよ。
Really?
前にヒンメルにもらったんだ。多分フェルンとお揃いだよ。
そうなんですか？
ど
Interesting.
こにあったかな。あれ？
Oh my god, she has too much stuff.
も
Jeez, how do you fit all that into that backpack, into that briefcase? What? They just step on a landmine?
油断してた。鳥型の魔物って狡猾で魔力を隠すのがうまいんだよね。どう
I
し
guess we're just flying now. Oh no, the
と
horses!
りあえず魔物は倒すとして、あとは飛行魔法でなんとかならないのか？
I don't think it's that easy.
シュタルク、空飛ぶ馬車って見たことある？
Yeah, if it were that easy, everyone would do it.
意外かもしれないけど、私たち
I wonder if it's like a, weight limit.
まだ40年も
She's noting that Stark was heavy, right, when she was
それ
lifting
まで
him.
空は魔族と魔物の独壇場だったんだ。
Probably a whole lot of weird physics measuring.
魔族の魔法術式をそのまま転用したもので、
難しいことはいいから
Interesting.
俺にも
No,
分
no,
かるよう
don't
に
spare me the details. Give me all the details. I want the details.
応用ができないってこと。人より大きなものは
Need to be able to reverse engineer it.
なるほど。
脱出するしかないね。
Makes sense.
私は商人を連れて飛ぶから、フェルンはザインをお願い。
Probably only the present is just the developing
荷物
past,
をまとめ
right?
ます。
It's ridiculous to expect just all these spells to be developed. These are all a process. Everything's a process.
何言ってんのこの人。死
Ah,
んじ
you
ゃうと
got
思うんだ
this.
けど。
Easy. You're fine. Just bend your knees. Just don't let your knees be straight. Otherwise, you'll probably die. But if you bend it, you'll just break your legs.
アイゼンは自由落下程度ならどんな高さでも無傷だったよ。
He's a dwarf. I'm pretty sure they're invincible, and he went head first. What an absolute legend.
こいつ。
ファイターがドン引きしていた。
ドン引きしている時点でおかしいのはアイゼン様だと思います。
The furthest thing
では
in his own
衝
way.
突する直前に馬車を浮かせるというのはどうですか？
自由落下を相殺できるか計算しないと。威
Mm.
力を殺しきれないと私たちはごちゃ混ぜのミンチになっちゃうから。
なんか
Well,
怖
we
いこと
probably
言って
don't
る。
want that.
どちらにせよ早くした方がいいんじゃない
He's just
か。
enjoying the
こ
view.
いつ獲物を地面に叩きつけて狩りをするタイプの魔物だぜ。
Oh, we might end up like that anyways. I guess we're figuring it out now. Kind of out of choices. Oh no, the cigarette!
とも挑戦
I don't know why I don't know that.
いきなり落とすなよ。
Why are Frieren's expressions just the best thing ever? Every single episode. And everyone's dead. Oh my god, the horse is...
生きてる。
Why is the horse floating?
みたいだね。
何がだよ。どういう計画？
Hey, the horse was spared. That's what matters.
馬は軽傷だった。治療も終わったぞ。だが馬車はダメだな。修理が必要だ。
I'd call that a success, personally.
むしろ感謝しています。私一人では死んでいましたから。
しばらくは馬車の修理
It's
だな。
crazy how that's just a thing in this world that can happen. Just some giant avian creature decide to pick you up and you're probably dead now. Shouldn't have been traveling, I guess, idiot. Oh god, now it's gonna be even more disorganized. Friend, we're gonna need you over here to help her sort this thing. Oh.
最近暖かくなってきたな。
そろそろ衣替えですかね。
そういやフェロン、そのブレスレットって
Coming into spring, I
はい
guess.
シュタルク様からの
Of
誕
course
生日
it
プレゼントで
was.
す。
選ぶのに3時間もかかったぜ。
結局シュタルクが選んだのか、
Hmm.
私が好きに選んでほしいと言ったので。
おう
You can't do that. Gotta give him some rope.
大変だったなシュタルク
Yeah, seriously. I gotta think of something that you actually want. You got lucky. She told you what she wanted.
顔色伺いながらの3時間。生きた心地がしなかった。
Yeah.
かわいそうにな。
全部聞こえ
She
て
doesn't realize the torment she put Stark
気
through.
に入ってもらえたからよかったよ。
Oh, but it was worth it. And now there's so much more meaning to it, right?
やるじゃねえかシュタルク。お前はもっとヘタレかと思っていたぜ。
He didn't,
あの
but
衣装
he
は鏡レン
cares.
ゲ。花言葉はクローンの愛情だ。こ
Oh,
の地方じ
wow.
ゃあれは恋人に贈るものだぜ。
Wait,
シュタ
didn't
ルク様
知らなかったんだ。
Frieren say Hyder
誤
gave
解だ
her
よ。
one?
俺が花言葉なんて知っていると思うか？
そうですよね。バカです
Aww.
いつにも増して辛辣。
I don't expect anything from
知ら
you.
なかったくせに。
何か言いましたか。
なんでもないです。
They're so adorable together. Why would would you do that?
一生
Yeah.
懸命選んで
This
私
is the
にくれ
gift
た
you
ものです
chose. Of course I'm gonna be
二度
happy
とそ
with
んなこ
it.
と言わないで。
Come on, don't put such little value on it. But he's clueless as Stark ever is, and we love him for it.
なんでもねえ
Yeah.
よ。
なんでもねえよ. They're just hanging out the back. Oh. Ooh, yummy. Rest in peace, unicorn boar. Forced unicorn, but you know what I mean. What an unexpected little camping trip this turned out to me. That's what a journey's all about, right?
フリーレン様。馬車の修理が終わったので、明日の早朝には出発するそうです。
そう
Alright.
毎晩抜け出していますよね。何を探しているんですか。
ヒンメルからもらった指輪。
Oh, it was a ring. Okay, okay, yeah, it was Himmel, the one
見
that
つかる
Himmel
まで
gave
出
him.
発を待ってもらいましょう。
I thought she said Hyder initially.
今夜見つからなかったら
That's so
諦める
sweet. Eternal love.
なくし物には慣れている。ヒンメルからもらったものはあれだけじゃないしね。
こ
Hmm.
れと同じ鏡レンゲの衣装の指輪だったんですよね。
Yeah, eternal
クローンの
love.
愛情だそうです。
そう、知らなかった。
That's so.
ヒンメルもそんな花言葉知らなかった。
I think he did. He's a lot less clueless
きっと大事なもの
than
です。
Zayn is, even if he
みんなで
acts
一緒に
like
探しま
it.
しょう。
言ってくださればよかったのに。私の村でも昔から装飾品をなくされる方はそれなりにいました。なくした装飾品を探す魔法。今回の報酬としてお渡しするつもりだった魔法
Well,
の
that's
一つ
awfully
です。
convenient. Comes around, goes around, I suppose. A little silly with this convenience, but we'll let it fly.
フリーレン、
That was a beautiful
君は
cut.
今回の討伐依頼で頑張ってくれたからね。好きなものを選んでくれ。
Especially like the movement of the scarf. That was really smooth.
嬉しいんだけど。じゃあこれで。
Hmm.
早いな。真面目に選びなさい。
どうしたの？
He did recognize it. So she picked it, but he recognized what it was. Oh. Of course he knew what it was. That's so sweet. Mm.
フリーレン
ありがとう。
Oh, is he gonna kneel down and present her with the ring? You absolute smooth criminal, you. I don't think you knew what it meant. Out of here with that. I believe that she didn't know, though.
フリーレン様
Does it carry more weight now that you know what it is? But I suppose it doesn't really matter. Speaking of,
バカだからです
he's not an idiot. We've been over this. He's a child. Infinitely worse. Oh, wow. That was a jam-packed episode. There was so much in that. I'm trying to think of another show that leaves me this exhausted at the end of each episode. I mean, JJK leaves me feeling like miserable and in pain and torn apart, but this show just leaves me tired. Just all the different emotions that go through me throughout it. It's just so much. So beautiful, though. Smells like trouble. All right, so that was Frieren season 1 episode 14. An absolutely incredible and just jam-packed episode. So much in it. From the flashback, I was kind of expecting, kind of hoping we'd get Hyder with that's a lot of bars, and then to Zine, that's a lot of bars. But I guess he's a little bit less of a drinker, and he's more quantity over quality when it comes to vices. Hyder stuck to the one. He was loyal, I guess you could say. And Fern's pouty faces are just so cute. And I mentioned this in the episode, and I'm not sure if I just missed it during the episode, but he didn't give her a gift. And I'm not sure if what he said later, where he mentions that he didn't give her a gift because he wanted to get one with her. He didn't know, he wanted to ask her to go around and get one with him. I'm not sure if he was talking about for the rest of that day, or if that's why he didn't give her a gift, period, that he already knew, or if he just didn't know until then. And then throughout the day, he was thinking, I want to go over and ask her to pick one out, but it's not. I think it might be the former, but at this point, we don't really know. So I was thinking that, oh, hey, this is just another chance of, is it another time where Fern kind of places her own learned experiences and expectations born from that onto Stark, right? Because when we first met her, she was eventually able to relate to Stark being terrified of the dragon by thinking about her first time fighting a monster herself. And she was terrified. She's overcome that, so she kind of looks through the world through a lens of, I have overcome this, so other people have overcome it too. which is obviously a fallacy, right? But it's a short-sightedness that's not necessarily like, it doesn't say that she's short-sighted for it. It's just a blind spot of hers. So whether this was the case here, like, again, she learned what his birthday was, that it was his birthday, and then she kind of expects other people to know when it's her birthday. Whether it's that or just he was trying to cover up the fact that he was too embarrassed to ask her, I think both work, and it's interesting. It makes sense for her character, but there's so many little lines here that are so interesting to talk about. I'll get you a gift. I feel sorry for him. When you get to my age, you can only let that stuff roll off your back, but they're more affected by things. And then I think it was before he said, men don't care about little things like birthdays and anniversaries. I'm tempted just as a joke to write off as boys will be boys. I think to a degree this is the case, at least more so than women, but as a man, obviously, I disagree with this. I actually do care about these things quite a bit. And I would say it's less of a man thing not to care about these things, but more of, I mean, if anything, it's more of a sibling thing. Like, siblings don't really, I mean, we'll call each other for our birthdays, but we won't really make this big deal out of it. But, and maybe for a lot of men, yeah, this is the case. And I think compared to women, it is much less. And I think for people like Zion, it's probably just completely true. Though I do think, I have heard that for most men, that kind of is the case. That they don't really care about anniversaries, at least nearly as much as women, but I don't have experience with that. Okay, I've been staring at this line for like 5 minutes, and I don't know if it's just the phrasing of it or if my brain's just not braining. But I've been struggling to try to grasp what he's trying to say here. He's obviously talking about back during Stark's birthday when Fern went out with him to get a gift. And I think he's implying that she chose not to just get him whatever because he was fine with her getting whatever, and they decided to go out and choose one together because that was an important memory. Going out and getting the gift, right? More important, and it was important to her because she invited him that we will go out and find a gift for you. So for her, what's important is the fact that what's important is that she gets him a good gift and that she goes out with him and they pick the gift, because that's what matters to her. That's something that she values. That seems to be the case. If I'm just misreading it or I'm just misremembering, please do let me know in the comments. But I do think that's interesting if that's the case, because yeah, memories are important, right? People won't know how you feel unless you tell them. Ain't that the truth, right? If you've seen ReZero, then that's all I gotta say on it. I wanted to choose a gift with you since I don't know what you like, but I thought you'd get upset with me again if I said that, so I couldn't. That's so sweet. I think that is implying that he knew about her birthday. He just decided not to tell her or he wanted to tell her in the way that I want to get you a gift, but he was bashful, which is very fitting for him. And then the two adults have an interesting conversation here. You understand relationships better when you're older, and that's when you start avoiding conflict. Those arguments are the privilege of the young. The privilege of innocent bliss, right? The bliss of not understanding relationships so well that you avoid conflicts. What an interesting, sort of cynical perspective, but not one that's difficult to understand, I think. As an adult, I sort of agree with this. I guess you understand how important relationships are, and you understand how delicate they are, how difficult they are to make. Adults have a lot more trouble than kids or even teenagers making friends, right? And so the relationships are more important to you because they're harder to make new ones. I guess when you're a friend, when you're a child, things are a lot more flippant. Things are a lot more casual and lighthearted, and you can make new friends all the time. So You don't mind getting into fights or making up afterwards. And that's another thing. Adults are a lot harder to make up, right? If you break off a friendship, that's something that sticks in your mind. That's something that's ingrained in you. Even if, like in a relationship or just with friends, you split apart but then come back together, it's never quite the same. But for kids, it's not really like that. So I guess, yeah, the privilege of the youth is that they can do things like this, right? They can go out and make mistakes. They can make friendships. They can break off relationships. They can argue and fight. And they have a lot less to worry about making up, about losing a valuable relationship that they can't easily replace. That's really interesting. It's still cynical, but I understand it a lot, especially as an adult who's had a lot of trouble making new friends pretty much ever since I've stopped being at college, and to a degree even at college. It's just not quite the same. Those of you who are working, I'm working now too, yeah, it's difficult, right? You can have like work buddies, but how many of them are like actual friends? Do you have like proper relationships with? So for the ones you do, yeah, that's something you treasure. And to avoid potentially breaking them off, maybe you'll avoid arguing. Maybe you'll avoid doing things that you think might set them off or might go down that road, which is kind of sad. So I guess, yeah, that is a bit of a privilege of the youth. That's a really interesting line. Very fitting for the name of the episode, too. Looking after two kids sounds rough. When you stand in understanding relationships, I don't understand at all. But those are human relationships. And also, she's a bit of a recluse, so. Frieren asked me for advice instead of you. That's such a cute waddle. Oh my god. And then she shouldn't be comparing me to a great priest, but he was drunk, hungover, picky, and lied. But you're a little worse. The Mr. Hyder I remembered was a kind and dependable man. Unlike me, he was an ideal grown-up. That might be the line of the episode. The one before was really good about the privilege of the youths, but I think this one has to take the cake. I work in a school. I work in a elementary middle school. I'm a push-in tutor for math, but I interact a lot with the students. And I've heard it a lot mentioned to me, obviously, since I dress like this, and I don't think I need to tell you that most people don't. It's a fairly run-down school. It's kind of in the, not the hood per se, but it's in a disadvantaged neighborhood. So I'm even more out of place there than I am like on YouTube or just walking the streets of Chicago, which is saying a lot. But I'm very different, right? And not just how I dress, but how I act. I talk very differently from a lot of people, and I carry myself differently. So I've received the comment that well, the funniest thing is I've gotten a nickname actually since day one. They call me AI or Mr. AI. And a lot of that is, again, how I stand, how I talk, how I walk, how I present myself. I seem different. I seem like an ideal grown-up. I seem proper. And I think to a degree, all of us feel that way a little bit about at least somebody in our life. I think we all, whether consciously or not, try to be that somebody. We all present our best selves to most people, right? We show all the good and we try to hide all the bad. I'm not on social media very much other than YouTube, but I know this is a big thing on Instagram. It's messing with a lot of, especially young minds, that you see these perfect lives that people have presented you on a silver platter, and you compare it with all the worst parts of you. Exactly as Zion's doing here, unlike me. But what we fail to consider is that everybody is just another person, right? They're the same as you. Their life isn't any more perfect. It sure may be very different. Maybe they have less mental health issues. Maybe they're more physically fit. Maybe they have more friends. But that doesn't make them any more of an ideal grown-up, right? We're all just struggling our way through this life. we're all presenting the best versions of ourselves. And yet we only ever compare other people's best versions to our worst versions. And I think he continues on here. He mentions it. And then they have a really cute thing here. But Hyder brings up right here, my mind has hardly changed since I was a child. I've simply been pretending to be an adult until I can make it as an ideal grown-up. Oh, I love this so much. I love this so much. I love this line so much. Because we can all relate to it, right? We can all relate to it. All of us adults, I guess. If you're like a teenager and you're watching this, you can pretend to relate to this, but you really can't. But if you're an adult, regardless of what age you are, I think you can relate to this. I think you can say, yeah, I felt this. No one ever reaches adulthood and gets to a point where, boom, suddenly my psychology changed. Boom, suddenly my biology changed. My hormones changed. I feel like an adult now. No, we just kind of get kicked out into the world. We finish our schooling and we try to model our lives after the adults we most aspire to be like. We try our best to fake it till we make it. We try to be adults by doing things that adults do. But we never really reach it, right? You could probably ask a 40 or 50-year-old, do you feel like an adult? And maybe they'll say yes, but if you're close with them and if they're or if they're frank, then they'll probably say, no, I'm just doing what I think I should do, what I think adults should do, what an adult is in my mind, an ideal grown-up. But we're all just fumbling our way through the dark, right? We're all just fumbling our way around, listening to the echoes of those that came before us, who seem to be fumbling a little bit less, but that's only because they're further out in the darkness ahead of us, where we can't quite see them, and because their footprints have already faded into the sand. So we don't see all the messy steps of them walking in circles. We just see the path they've taken. And we aspire to be like them. We pretend to be adults. And I love the wording here that it's until I can make it as an ideal grown-up. But that's not an achievable goal, right? It's more of a value. I value acting like an ideal grown-up. It's not something you attain. It's something you are constantly seeking. You are constantly trying to better yourself and trying to become more of an ideal grown-up. Now, in today's modern world, I would argue a lot of people aren't really trying to do this. One thing that I kind of lament about the present day is that the point of adulthood is kind of getting pushed back and back and back, even though legally it hasn't changed. But 20s are now like the new teenage years. People are acting less and less like grown-ups. And to a degree, I get it. Like, the whole thing I've just talked about that I just went on to spiel about is exhausting, right? We don't want to do it. Why would we do it? We're just hiding ourselves. So it seems contradictory that I would admonish that and then look at people who aren't trying to be adults anymore and say they're crazy for doing that. But I think it's a little bit ridiculous that we do that we all just pretend to be adults. And yet I also think it's valuable. I think it's in doing that it's in aspiring to be like ideal grown-ups that we become grown-ups effectively. We become what we aspire to be. Think of Hyder and being the fake hero, right? Until he made it. It's in pursuing that ideal that we become to embody it. So I don't think there's a problem with leaving your childhood behind and acting like a grown-up and dressing like a grown-up and being like a grown-up. I don't think you need to necessarily suppress your childish self. I think you should pat them on the back and say, thank you for everything. I'll take it from here, and then protect them with all your life. But I don't think we should be doing what we're doing with the direction we're going in the modern day, where adults are acting like children and they're dressing like children and they're treating each other like children, but they're not. And I don't think it's inherently bad to leave your childhood behind. I think in the talk of impermanence that this show is so important, the talk of the span of time, I think it's important to close chapters of your life as you move on to the next. I think that is what makes it so valuable. And it's probably in that very reason that people don't want to become adults, that people are acting like children well into their 20s, their 30s even. It's the idea that they don't want to leave their childhood behind because the adult world is just so hard to live in, which it is. It is really hard to live in, so I don't blame them for wanting to be like kids, but just because I don't blame them doesn't mean I think they shouldn't be acting differently. Again, it's entirely in the difficulty of the task that makes it worthwhile, right? It's precisely because we can't become the ideal grown-up that we should strive for it. It's precisely because we don't want to leave childhood behind that we need to do so. It is these endeavors that define our life, that define life, and that define what a grown-up is to future generations. Because you also have to think a bit about it generationally. If Gen Z, and before long Gen Alpha is going to be right on our tails, if we define adults as just big children, then Gen Z is going to grow up, Gen Alpha is going to grow up, and the future generations after that are going to grow up and look at that as their model. And it'll just keep regressing and regressing and regressing. And before you know it, we'll all be 40-year-old we'll all be 40-year-old man children living in our mother's basements. And maybe to you that sounds appealing, but to me it doesn't. And I think that's the last society I want to live in. I don't blame them, but that doesn't excuse them from doing what I think they need to do, what we really should do, not just for our sake, but for the sake of others. But man, does this line beautiful. I'll probably keep pretending till the day I die. Exactly. Children need groms for emotional support. Exactly. We need to be the adults for the next generation. And then they once again mention the goddess. That'll praise you. And she gives him head pats. Better than expected. Because men don't really get this kind of stuff, right? After my big talk about how adults should be adults and men should be men and all that stuff, this may seem to come out of left field, but I also think that I don't think that we should revert back to a time. Like, I'm not saying society's gone too far, we need to revert back. I think that's just as dangerous as racing too far into the future. And reverting back would mean reverting back to a time before women had the rights that they have now, before men could express themselves, before therapy was socially acceptable. I don't want any of those things. And I think this Hyder unintentionally brings light to this. Men don't really get praised. Men don't really have a lot of physical contact. Men don't really talk about their feelings much. Is it because they don't feel much? No, of course not. We feel just as much as women. Maybe not just as much, but we feel just about as much as women do. They're just taught as a child, socialized to find that acceptable. For men, we can laugh, we can yell, and we can close ourselves off. We can drink, we can hide. And that's really all that we've got. So something as simple as a head pat just means a lot. I think you're a proper adult. Exactly, he is. We're all proper adults in our own way. You're so disorganized. And then they start flying. And then we learn about the flying magic that they got from demons. We can't copy it, adapt a technique. We can't adapt it because we copied... Oh, okay, so I missed that first part. We can't adapt it because we copied it without understanding it. So we can only use like the base form of it because we just... Ironically, like demons copying us, we copied their technique. But since we don't actually understand it, we can't apply it to other things, right? We didn't reverse engineer it. We just basically stole it. So we can't take the fundamentals of it and build off of it as technology, as science does. It's why it's so phenomenal. It's why it's so incredible. As mathematics does, right? Any body of knowledge, it builds off of itself by understanding the fundamentals, which is why we learn that in school. No one ever teaches that though. So children just go through not understanding why. That's why. So we can understand these fundamentals. And so our body of knowledge can grow and be passed on. But if you don't do it, then you're just not going to understand it. So anything larger than a human can only fly briefly. We've got to figure out how we'll do this. It's okay. Aizen did it himself. And whoosh, straight headbutting the ground. So funny. But the creature dropped things, so we had to deal with it. So we figured it out. And then boys get boy talk. It must be so hard giving a gift for her. Because we really do think things through. You think I know the language of flowers? No, absolutely not. She's still going to judge you, though, because she's a little bit judgy. It's just kind of how she is. You're so cute. And then this is just such a great bit of such a great moment for an adventure, right? Showing what's so wonderful about adventures. The spontaneity of suddenly we're camping out as we try to repair this thing, and we got to stay overnight, and we've got to go hunt for food, and we've got to just talk over a fireplace. It really encapsulates the feeling and the whimsy and the joy of traveling, of going on adventures, these little things that you don't expect to happen that end up becoming core memories. And something a little bit less nice, I really don't like this. I mean, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. It's a very small thing. Obviously, it's a subplot within a subplot, and they give a hand wave explanation for it. But I really don't like the fact that she's looking for the accessory. Oh, I was just going to give you this spell for finding lost accessories. Like, that's such a lame, convenient hand waving moment. It's so lame. It's so lame, but whatever, it gets the job done. And then we get, oh, I gotta revisit these. These are just absolutely beautiful. Something about like the way the scarf like morphs, right? Because obviously they're not drawing it like thread by thread. So it kind of like morphs around as the tendrils blow around and create little like bodies. It just looks really nice. And then just, the beautiful like shine. And then, yeah, he had no idea. He had no clue. I mean, he could have been clueless and still just done this because it's romantic, because it's like making fun of it, and not making fun of it, but just like pretending he's doing that. But I mean, it's obvious he knew, right? It's obvious he knew. He clearly, his reaction to it was so very much, oh, look at this. Oh, it's nothing. Stark and Himmel are very similar, but Himmel's not clueless. Stark is. And then she holds it close. It's got a new meaning to it. So beautiful. What a beautiful, lovely episode. Absolutely jam-packed with emotion from beginning to end. Oh, it's lovely. I enjoyed it a lot. If you enjoyed it as much as I did and you're looking forward to the next one, again, subscribe if you haven't already to get notified. If you did like it, please do like and subscribe. Please do like and comment. It really helps me out, and it really shows the algorithm that you enjoyed it, so it'll show it to more people. We can build out this community. And regarding commenting, if there's something in the episode that I didn't talk about, or something I kind of skipped over, or misunderstanding I think I had several this time, or something I said that you agree or disagree with, something you want to build off on, please do leave it in the comments. I read every single one without exception. I really do love doing it, because it's about these, that's what the analysis is for, right? That's what this extraction of meaning is for. It's turning anime from a escapism to supplement to our lives. And the best way we can do that is as a community. So yeah, please do leave your comments down there, and I'll read them, and I may even present them in a video if I really want to talk about it. So regardless though, whatever you end up doing, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending your time here. And until the next one, have a lovely rest of your day.